Life is good in the Most High. The Most High loves you all. You are Creation 13. I am Adam Bay. And today I want to talk to you about family morals and the lack of family morals, of respect uh, for family. It's not just your parents and your brothers and sisters. It's family values and family morals is who you interact with daily. You should always be respectful and honorable to each person that you meet. Um, and that's something that has been lacking for the past about 18 years, 18 or 19 years, which astonishes me just how fast things change. Um, but yeah, the lack of values is gone. Like I've said before, people are becoming a lawless state of being, a lawless state of self, because basically or not we're creating, but the generation now is creating a lawless state of uh, stupidity. For one, a lot of people act stupid on purpose because of what they think society is now. Um, and they're voicing their opinions based in a rebellious state of being. You know, creating these riots or these rebellious states like a child. You know, who needs discipline. You know, teenagers and people who are in their mid 20s are acting like little 10-year-olds um, that need discipline, and that discipline is not there, so they're just creating a chaotic state, a state that doesn't need to be. Um, and that's what's wrong with, or at least what is being publicized, anyways, is that. But even if you walk around to like in a store or something, you'll see lots of teenagers who who focus so much on their phones and trying to please social media in some way, and they're not even focusing on life itself. There was a thing on Facebook I was watching that there was like, I think, like 15 teenager girls, right? They're at a baseball game, but they weren't even watching the baseball game. They were all just taking selfies and taking pictures of themselves with their faces in a selfie picture face, whatever, and just showing them what they were eating in pictures. They were creating social media. They were at the baseball thing, not to enjoy what was being played, even though I think baseball is boring anyways. But they were there just to be there, um, for social media purposes only. And it was basically creating nothingness, actually. There was really no point or purpose to it, and they weren't even interacting with each other. All they were doing was taking pictures and laughing and taking pictures and laughing. Not once for the whole video, and I think that video was like 15 minutes long or something, and they would cut it here, so obviously it was for the whole game. But they didn't interact with each other, not once. All they did was laugh and whatever, and then they would text. And the funniest thing is this generation, instead of talking to people, they just text each other. They'll be right next to each other and they'll just text each other that way. There's no talking or anything. There's no way of voicing your opinion, or working things out in some way, because what is happening is, when you're on a phone, that phone is not going to talk back to you, and that is a problem. you know our teenagers are growing up learning on not how to deal with people talking back to them. They're not going to be able to handle it. There's no way that they're going to be able to handle the world when people are talking to them. So if somebody disagrees with what they're doing, they're going to snap. They're either going to just totally ignore it, which is another huge issue with teenagers right now, or people in their mid 20s, is they'll just ignore it. They'll like either walk away or don't know how to handle the situation. And that's a big, big issue. And that's something that really needs to be fixed. This is why family values and morals are being gone away, and why teenagers don't listen to their parents anymore is because of social media. Is because people are talking so much on their computers and on their phones. Like I said, they're not listening to a reason of anything. And if somebody doesn't agree with somebody on a text or in Facebook or something like that, all they do is they just don't talk for a couple days, and then they talk again via messaging instead of in real life. And that's what's going to lead into this scripture here. I was going to read something else, but my soul led me to this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and read this, and then I'll further talk about what's being grown here. So this is out of Thessalonians chapter 4, I believe. It's called Living to Please God, or Living to Please the Most High. So, finally, brothers and sisters, we instructed you how to live in order to please the Most High. As in fact you are living, now we ask you and urge you in the Most High to do this more and more. For you know what instructions we gave you by the authority of the Most High. The 42 laws of Ma'at, the 10 commandments, so on and so forth. It is the Most High's will that you should be sanctified, that you should avoid sexual immorality, that each of you should learn to control his or her own body. I'll read that again. That you should avoid sexual immorality, that each of you should learn to control his or her own body in a way that is holy and honorable, not in passionate lust like the heathen, which is what's happening now, who do not know the Most High, and that in this matter no one should wrong his brothers or sisters or take advantage of them. The Most High will punish men and women for all such sins, as we have already told you and warned you. For the Most High did not call us to be impure, but to live a holy life. Therefore, he who rejects this instructions does not reject man, but the Most High, who gave you his Holy Spirit, or your soul. The Most High gave you your soul. You are a soul. Now about love, we do not need to write to you, for you yourselves have been taught by the Most High to love each other. And in fact, you do love each other throughout. Yet we urge you to do so more and more. Make it your ambition to lead a quiet life, to mind your own business, And right there is meaning, live your life like it was a business. You make business decisions in your life. If you make bad business decisions, your business is going to fall and fail. Now, if you make good, smart business decisions and work with your family, co-workers, whatever, work with your family, your business is going to be more successful. And that is what is a key, That is what is a key word in the Bible itself, is mind your own business. It's not meaning, you deal with your thing, I deal with my thing. It's looking at life through a business point of view. And that's something that is that takes a lot of discipline and awareness um, to live your life like a business. So, anyways, I'll keep reading. All right. Make it your ambition to lead a quiet life, to mind your own business, and to work with your hands, just as we told you, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders, and so that you will not be dependent on anybody. Meaning that, you know, you can take care of yourself and that you don't need to rely on others to take care of you. Now, that doesn't mean to become selfish, but you lead by example, and um, you lead by example. That's something that also lacks in this generation, is leading by example. There is no leaders, there's just the followers. And that's something that you have to get away from. You have to be a leader, no matter what you're doing. Um, you need to think for yourself and make good business decisions. Um, so yeah, and then the next chapter is called "The Coming of the Most High." It's not chapter 5 yet, but it's still in 4. So, the coming of the Most High. Brothers and sisters, we do not want you to be ignorant about those who fall asleep, or to grieve like the rest of humanity, which basically means, with this generation here, you do not need to grieve for them or feel sorry for them for their making their own decisions. But it's up to us to at least be a lead by example. Um, so then those who will wake up from that mindless state will want to create their own business. So yeah. So we do not want you to be ignorant about those who fall asleep, or to grieve like the rest of man or humanity, who have no hope. We believe that the Most High will bring with those who have fallen asleep in him, according to I'm gonna quit reading that. It contradicts itself in there. So anyway, so yeah, so the basic moral of this whole thing is to mind your own business, be respectful, be honorable, um, and don't be ignorant for those who who don't want to listen. You know, they are going to do what they are going to do. But that's why I make videos and so on and so forth, is to make you aware. Not all teenagers, are are social trending, um, phone box people. I hope that makes sense. I don't know how else to categorize them. Selfie people. There we go. Not everybody's like that. There is a lot of good, loving people out there. But even though you're very loving, but you lack the main thing, which is, remembering your soul and remembering the spirit that surrounds you, the Most High, and the laws that surround the Most High. You can be the most lovingest person in the world, but if you don't understand where that love comes from, understand that self-love, understand and remember your soul, which is you in the first place anyways, you're not going to be able to create a business or be able to help rise up the world itself, or at least your surrounding areas. And that doesn't mean that love won't change the world, because love will, but love needs to be based in a family value uh, perception, a business perception, family value perception. We need to bring that back. I've been watching Boy Meets World. For those who may remember the show, it was made in in the mid 90s. And it also spawned a new one that's being played out right now called Girl Meets World. I haven't watched Girl Meets World yet. I watched a couple episodes, but it looks like it still shows some of those values to an extent. But I think Boy Meets World is probably the best show to watch for um, family values, because it respects the adult's perception of things. And it's also based on, like I said, in part of the Generation X perception that I grew up with. Um, and that's where we need to get back into that state again. I mean, social media is not going to go away. It's not. But we need to somehow figure out how to, you know, how to break out of that box. How to break out of the box that we have right now. Everybody lives in a box. You know, I'm in a box right here. It's a box. It's a TV screen. Everybody seems to be um, stuck in their own TV, and not being able to talk to each other. You know, um, I have a hard time talking with other people at times. It's really hard for me, um, because my heart is so big, and my love for others, and and respect for others, is huge. I wanted to help teach people on how to be respectful and honorable. Um, and it's not about your ego or things like that. I want to help you break out of those egos and break out of those masks, and break out of that sexual lust of your body. Um, that's another big thing, is sexual lust. And that's what's really, that's what's also plaguing, teenagers, and just the world itself, in America especially, is the lust of the body. Relationships are very lustful now. This also comes into with the gays and the lesbians too. Um, it just seems like everybody is lusting for the body instead of learning about themselves, learning about yourself, learning to love yourself, um, and not accepting yourself. That's another key thing. People are like, oh, just accept yourself for who you are. But who are you? Who are you? Are you created because you created yourself? Or are you creating yourself based on where you think the world is now? Through social media, through movies, through TV. Are you a social media created clone? Or can you think for yourself? Can you be a business person for yourself? Um, there's a lot of deception with that. New Age is one of the biggest things. Um, that is a big brainwashing tool, which I need to make a video on. But New Age is a huge thing. Social media is a huge thing. Um, on how they are twisting things up. New Age. It's all about love, 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 love. Uh, be who you think you are. If you want to be blah blah blah, then you be blah blah blah. It's simplifying things. It's not digging deeper into things. You have to dig deep to the bone for yourself. You have to discover yourself. Um, and people lack that. People lack that. And people don't want to admit to it. People don't want to admit that they lack in those things. Um, and that's the thing with the churches and things, is they say that humans are limited to their thoughts, that humans are limited to that things are beyond human understandings, creating excuses for themselves, creating so many excuses. Excuses are beyond anything that I've ever seen in my life. You have to expand and grow. And again, that's where people get so confused is, you say to expand and grow, but people get stuck in their own ego and in their own lustful desires, that they think they're living, uh, or they're being love. What's that word? They think they're being loving, but they're really just ego driven in a mindset that is never going to take place. Um, Living on false hopes and desires, um, and hoping that somebody else is going to help change the world. Um, that's basically the tone, that I see the world is in. Again, I hope that makes sense. It's so hard for me to put all these things into a simple way of saying them, but it's never easy to say these things, and that's because the world thinks things need to be super simplistic and that humans can't understand what's being said. So I could be talking a foreign language to you, and this may not click with you, but I have a feeling that people who watch this video um, will understand what this video is meaning. So the basic thing of this whole video is to learn about family morals, learn about family values. Uh, if your parents were not good parents, find somebody who is a good mentor. And I've said this in previous videos before. Find someone who's a good mentor. You know, if you find a video, a person on video, like myself, listen to the words that are being said. Don't follow them. Like I said, that's something that I think a lot of people really lack that of is that we're not teachers. We're not teachers. We are we are students, and we are studying about what it means to be human, um, or the lack of knowledge that humanity has presented itself to be now. That we are students. We are studying and learning to be a better you, learning to be a better you, and learning to understand the world in the way it is intended to be. You know, that's something that we really need to go deeper into. We really need to start eliminating the teacher word and start realizing, that we can all learn from each other, in a calm, cool, collective manner. And I cannot stress that enough. Calm, cool, collective manner. You may disagree with something, but you can still be calm, cool, and collective and learn. Be willing to learn. Um, and be willing to change your perception. You will never be happy or satisfied living in a box. Okay? You will never be happy and satisfied living in a box. Living in a world that you believe you want it to be. Okay? Because that world will simply never be. You're going to have to continue to be rebellious. You're going to have to continue to claw your way into happiness, and you have to continue to struggle with disagreements because you were not willing to be in conversations and be calm, cool, and collective. And that is something that you need to really realize how serious and important that message is. So I think I'll go ahead and end the video on that. So yeah, so it's time to join with people, talk with people, listen. Don't shun away over someone's ideas. Don't shun away over someone's ideas and views that could help change your life. Because you don't know who you're talking to. They could be an angel. They could be a messenger from the Most High. You never know. That's why it's so important to not push people away, because you don't know who they are. That's something that's very important. And quit being selfish. Don't try to I wouldn't say not please people, because that's being selfish itself. But look at your life and observe your life. And, is it the kind of business that you want to be creating for yourself? Are you happy with the situation that you are in right now? If you are struggling or saying that you are living this way, you're suffering because you feel humanity needs to wake up to these kind of situations, I would say relook at your life, because you deserve to be happy yourself. Because we lead by example. So if you're so focused on helping others, but you're living life miserably, you're setting the tone of frustration, and you're not going to be able to spread the message that you want to cross. Like I said again, you need to manage your business in a way that you're going to be successful. And that's something that you really need to strive for, is being successful in a business. It's tough. None of us are really truly free. But you can still manage your business with what you have right now. And yeah, so I'm going to end it on that. If you have any questions, let me know. Learn to love yourself. Learn to shine bright. Continue to strive to be a better you. And learn to communicate with people and learn from each other. No disputes, no arguments. Learn from each other. And that's the moral of the story. So yeah, talk to you in a little bit.